I thought I would do something different this week and take a look at a sleazy, low-budget exploitation film from the 1960s. It's a bit out of character for me, I know. Welcome to Exploitation Reviews, and me, Rob. Today I'm taking a look at Shanty, Tramp from 1967. This film comes to us from the lurid mind of K. Gordon Murray, and he's most famous for redubbing and re-releasing European fairy tale movies for children. And he also released a fair number of Mexican luchador movies. So, yeah, he at a certain time in the 60s, he was known as the king of the kiddie matinee. But here in Shanty Tramp, he's trying to exploit a different audience. My kind of audience. The film opens with our tramp sauntering down a rural boardwalk. How does that old phrase go? I hate to see you go, but I love watching you leave. The guys steal glances, and who can blame them? When the music stops, we find ourselves listening to a tent preacher. We'll find out later he's a bit of a huckster. Well, he's a tent preacher, so I guess that was clear from the beginning. Our tramp shows up and catches the eye of a local black man, Daniel. He knows who and what she is, of course, but he looks anyway, despite the protestations of his mom.
Daniel, you quit staring at that Shanty Tramp.
Let's get out of here, Ma.
Yeah, women like that don't belong in the house of the Lord.
After the sermon, our tramp introduces herself to the good reverend, and he admits that he's a tool.
I'm only a tool in his hands.
See? Told you. The tramp, well, maybe I should start calling her by her name, Emily, puts the moves on the reverend, and yeah, he's amicable, and he invites her to his trailer. But his first mate or pope or whatever cock blocks him.
Why not
not tomorrow? The preacher has to get ready for a midnight prayer meeting tonight.
Now, I'm sure pope is not the right word. You'll have to forgive me. I don't really know how all this church stuff works. Anyway, Emily makes her way across town to the local watering hole, and we are treated to some truly spectacular dancing. And then some plot shows up. This biker gang, by the way, was played by members of the Davie, Florida police force, and some of them were fired for their involvement in this sleazy film. Wow, being fired for being in a sleazy movie. I guess the police in 1960s had moral standards. Bit different from today, where police officers regularly appear in actual snuff films and keep their jobs. Anyway, their leader must have been their leader in real life because he gets the leading role and he is an absolutely atrocious actor. Seriously, watch his movements and line delivery.
Hey, Savage.
Yeah?
Can we bring the chains?
What for? We ain't mad at anybody. Yet. Come on. I'm so dry I could drink root beer.
Awesome. And I thought that Indian from Creepshow 2 was wooden. Well, it doesn't take him long to start putting the moves on Emily, and she's fine with it.
How come you ain't crying to your boyfriend?
You want me to cry for you?
In another part of the movie, Daniel still can't keep his mind off of Emily, and he goes to that midnight tent meeting, hoping to see her there. She's not there, of course, but her drunk of a father is. He'll be important later. Daniel makes his way to that watering hole and sees Emily hanging out with those bikers. And Emily and the leader, they make their way to a room, but when that biker refuses to give Emily that fin he promised her, things get rough.
Come on, big man, you promised me a fin. I want to see it.
Shut up, baby, and put out.
Fin, by the way, is $5. That's a good deal. Daniel hears the commotion, busts in, and lays the smackdown on that biker. And you know, we might not think much about this when we watch it today, but for the time, this was pretty shocking. In fact, many people today list Sidney Poitier's In the Heat of the Night as being the first movie where a black man hit a white man, and that movie came out in August of 1967. Shanty Tramp came out 2 months earlier. And this is pretty typical. Exploitation filmmakers are often the people who do things first. You know, they're the ones who are experimenting and pushing the envelope and trying to get that money, trying to find those audiences. But they were making trash, and we can't include their accomplishments in the official history of cinema. Anyway, back to the movie. Daniel dispatches that biker and then takes his shirt off. We think it's because he wants to get with Emily, but no. He gives her the shirt so she has something to walk home in. Stand up dude. But Emily comes on strong, and the two do get down to business. Unfortunately, we don't get to see any of that business. And then things take a turn.
Devil! The devil having a party! Black, filthy devil!
Emily, you tell him.
Just like the preacher said.
Hold on, old man.
Oh, Daddy, help me! Help me!
Help you, you crazy!
Son of Satan!
He was too strong for me, Daddy. I couldn't fight him.
Bitch, are you for real?
Oh, here we go. But no worries. I'm sure these southern fried, God-fearing people will react calmly and rationally and gather all the requisite evidence before they do something rash. Right? And that's enough out of me as far as plot goes. Let's talk some highlights. Well, as far as low-rent, off-the-beaten-path exploitation films go, this one really delivers. We get a nice-looking tramp who murders. We've got an innocent man who gives in to his base desires and pays for it. A corrupt, silver-tongued preacher, incestuous father, murderous bikers, and what more could you ask for? But the film's not perfect. Like a local tramp having a roll in the hay, this film has some shortcomings. Well, there are some obvious things like bad acting that I think we just have to forgive. Nobody in this movie was really an actor. And if bad acting is a deal breaker, then, well, you should just get over that because that's a big part of the exploitation experience. My only real complaint is the movie takes a little while to get going. You know that dancing I showed earlier? That goes on for more than 5 minutes. I mean, it is pretty funny, but 5 minutes or more of a 72-minute movie, that's a bit much. I mean, I absolutely love the last 20 minutes of this movie. I just wish we had gotten there a little bit sooner. Or had more fun stuff earlier. Either one. Overall, this is one of those films that fans of 60s exploitation get excited about finding. It hits all the right buttons. We've got fun characters, some shocking twists, we've got nudity, weird dancing, and murder. This is an absolute gem, and I highly recommend it.